I should say at this point as well, I'm sat on a balance ball because I've got a bad back. So if I tend to do that and it looks really weird, then that's why. So I tend to do that as well. But anyway. Oh, what is Grenade? Okay, how long have I got? So Grenade is a sports nutrition brand that's moved very much into a healthy snacking and lifestyle brand. But people think of us, I think, as just a healthy snacking brand, but actually we're a brand that does healthy snacking, if that makes sense. Okay, so to take you back to the start, this is my 29th year in the health and fitness industry. So I had lots of jobs. I was a fitness instructor, I managed gyms and so on. I had a distribution business which used to import American product from the US, obviously an American product, and we used to sell it in the UK. And I sold that business in 2008 to my best friend because I kind of fell out of love with the business really, and always had the idea to do Grenade and actually have my own brand without really knowing what we were doing. So Grenade was very much a hobby that turned into an obsession, if we can put it like that. So it was founded with my wife. We first incorporated the business in the summer of 2009. We'd actually been trademarking from 2006, so to date now we've got over 200 trademarks, design marks, pending patents. So that's been over 10 years of continuous protection. And that sounds like a slogan for Durex, doesn't it? 10 years of continuous protection. So we've been trademarking a long time. So we founded the brand in 2009. We started selling in the February of 2010. So next year will be the 9th year of Grenade. And yeah, it started like that really. So I was an unqualified fitness instructor, and my wife, she got a proper job. She was a school teacher, and then she was working for the a charity at the time, and then we gave up everything and just followed the dream, followed the brand. So first product we did, and actually the only product we ever intended to do, was a fat burner called Thermodetonator. This was a real learning curve. I knew a lot about weight loss products, and I thought actually if you could pick one thing. Everyone was obsessed with powders and the powders market, but the powders market's really commoditized, and I don't think consumers can tell if it works or not, or they can't really gauge a benefit as such. So you don't tend to get the advantage of having a quality product because consumers just think everything's a quality product. So we focused on weight loss because you'd feel something fairly quickly. And the branding we had in mind with the Grenade and the Grenade bottle, that just worked. So the idea behind the name was very much from the other products that we used to sell, like the American products. They all had quite clinical, pharmaceutical sounding names. There was no real brand name, it was just generally stuff in white tubs. It all sat on the shelf and looked the same. And having worked in a gym for 8 years, whenever I'd recommended a weight loss product to people, they'd gone out the door and 3 seconds later they'd forgotten what I told them, especially the name. So we had actually, if we could have that Grenade as the name and the bottle, protect it, we could have an impactful, strong product that portrayed strength, and most importantly, was really memorable. Because I think as a brand, you need to be memorable. I think people think you have to be liked, but you don't have to be liked, you just have to be memorable. So the worst thing you can have as a brand is having a brand that just, I think, consumers have no opinion on, because that just leaves you in no man's land. So whether people love it or hate it, they remember it, and that's been critical for us. So first product was weight loss, and we did that for 2 years, and we always referred to ourselves as the Red Bull of sports nutrition. Most brands had, in some cases, hundreds of products, and having been a distributor of a lot of these products, 99.9% didn't sell, but you had to stock them anyway. So as a distributor, it was a nightmare. And actually, as a distributor or retailer, you just want the stuff that sells. So I thought, let's just do one product along the lines of Red Bull in terms of the portraying the strength and it being memorable, and making it really impactful to the point that consumers had an opinion on it, and actually got the immediate benefits. So whenever you take one of these capsules, you know, within 20-25 minutes, it feels like a slap in the face, so you know you've had one. And it was extremely well received. We were, within a year, we were the fastest selling weight loss product in the country. Still the case now, still #1 on Amazon, so 8 years running. Yeah, we did that for 2 years and nothing else. And then we started to get such a following consumers and retailers were saying, can you make more products? So we actually did. Sometimes I regret that, sometimes I don't, but we actually made more products, and then we actually ended up with an entire range. But weight loss and that grenade bottle is where it all started. And we sold that around the world, and still do. What's scarier, solo flying or business? Both for different ways. The first time, because I'd actually been in one plane crash, which was years ago, without me flying. So when you've been in one plane crash, we ran out of fuel and landed in a potato field. Years later, I actually went and got my pilot's license after that, but I've never really been scared of flying since, because what's the chances of being in two? I'll regret saying that now, won't I? Because I'm now going to die in a plane crash. For me personally, within the business, probably fuck. This isn't necessarily a bad thing, but there's always someone in between us, the brand, and our consumers. So we've obviously got a big retail network, and we've got great partnerships in retail with everyone you can think of. But I think sometimes whenever we want to launch stuff or do something quickly and we can react quickly and the retailer can't, that's probably a frustration, that we can't always have the pace that we need. Definitely being in Virgin Fast Track, because all the brands I look up to have all gone through Fast Track. So I think being in there and being a part of like-minded people has been brilliant, and that's opened itself up to lots of other opportunities within the Virgin network and so on. So definitely that. I think just getting into retail, and even now when we get listed in Co-op or Tesco's or Sainsbury's, we can't help but go out and look for our product and go and find it. So we always get a buzz from looking for ourselves in store. I mean, the likes of M&S, getting to M&S specifically, so Marks & Spencer's been a good one, as traditionally, again, premium retail and probably not the sort of place you'd expect to find something that's called Grenade. So that one I'm particularly proud of. I think the team here, one of the hardest things with the business is when Jules and I founded this, and it was just the two of us and 4 cats. And then as you slowly just try and find people that are mad enough to come and work for you, especially when you don't have a specific job for them to do, it takes time, and there's sort of 50 of us now with the US, probably 60 people. So I think watching them grow, because we now have proper jobs and specific jobs for people, so we can actually look for what we need. But in the early days, and we've done all things like employing friends and stuff, and that doesn't normally work, but we just had people that loved the brand, and we didn't really have a job for them, but we just found stuff for them to do, and I think they're all still here. And just seeing them grow and develop into well-adjusted adults, really, I guess. I suspect there's a few actually. We shut down the New York metro system once with one of our thermodetonators when someone left one in a flower bed outside a GNC store and the police found it. So yeah, we shut down a size of an area of New York. Generally things where we shut down a 5-star hotel in Nairobi, someone left one in a room, shut down a major road in India, lots of that sort of stuff. That's probably fairly embarrassing, but good for PR. Probably about £15,000 each, something like that. Yeah, publicity-wise, nothing beats a tank. So when we had when we launched the brand and we had no money, we were down to £27 at one point, and it wasn't going sailingly well. I mean, it was okay, but I was a bit disappointed. And although this was kind of a hobby, it was still, all of a sudden, the hobby turned into the obsession, like I said. So we decided to drive a tank into a fitness show, because it hadn't been done before. And yeah, that caused a stir in terms of probably bang for buck. Plus we set all the smoke detectors off at the NEC, because this thing went in billowing smoke. So that put us on the radar. And again, I think doing stuff like that since, like driving it through London, is quite good, because people puts a smile on people's face, doesn't it, really? Seeing a tank driving through London. I've got lots, actually, embarrassed to say. How long have you got? I'm irrational, impulsive, I rant, I hate being told what to do, I'm really impatient and getting worse as I get older. I won't take no for an answer. Generally stuff like that probably makes me really easy to deal with or really hard to deal with, depending on what you're trying to get me to do at the time. And I've got better at this, but focus. So I'm trying to get better at focusing and having singularity of purpose, because otherwise I'm just like I'm like herding cats uphill. I'm all over the place. So trying to get better at focusing on one thing. Hopefully the passion in what I do and believing what I do. So I don't think of myself as a leader, but I think hopefully the team will always look up to me to do the right thing and make a good decision and stick by a good decision and do what feels right at the time. So hopefully that integrity, if we perhaps pigeonholed it along there. So hopefully that's a good thing. It's hard to say really, because it's a different landscape now than it was 8 years ago with the internet and Amazon and so on and so forth. Yeah, I probably would do a few things different. I mean, there's probably certain products I wouldn't launch, although everything's done extremely well and we've never phased a product out. But it comes back to that focus piece again, that do we really need them? And there's probably a few people I wouldn't hire again that aren't still here, by the way, in case someone's panicking. But yeah, there's a few things I do differently. I wouldn't do this interview for one. I think actually it's really important that we have people that can motivate themselves. So if they weren't able to do that, that'd be very tiring for me to come in down and try and motivate 50 people. I just don't think you can do it. So I would like to think that they're incredibly motivated anyway. In fact, I know they are. But again, hopefully by making the best products in the industry, and I think having the best branding, best marketing, the best culture, so to speak, hopefully that's motivation enough. I mean, people now really aspire to work here, God knows why, but they do aspire to work here, and we can put a job, we're always hiring, and we put a job application out and we'll get 400 or 500 applicants. That's quite common, so that's quite difficult sifting through all of those. So I think culturally now we can get the best people, but the ability to do the job is only half what we need. We need someone to do the job extremely well, but we also need them to be a cultural fit as well, because it could be a bit of an odd place to work if the culture's not correct. So in terms of legacy, it's interesting actually, because I've always thought of Grenade hopefully becoming iconic, like Red Bull, Monster, Nike, Under Armour, that sort of stuff. So I really hope that Grenade logo, sort of this logo, becomes fairly iconic in terms of quality, integrity, meaning something to people, a brand that people care about. So I really hope that that's a legacy, because we've got no children, so you know, anything happens to my wife and I, and you know, that's it, the brand is our baby. So I would like to think that this is just the start and this goes on to become a monstrous global lifestyle brand that people really aspire to be part of and use. Failing that, I'm just going to go to prison and just end up dying in a plane crash.